I'm Theron Ramacharaka. I took a few days off from uploading videos here. Guess I had to do some thinking. I've had a handful of YouTube channels in the past. Two of them are still on YouTube, but I don't have access to them, administrative access to them. None of them, the other either deleted ones or the two that are still here or this one, I've never got many subscribers or viewers. Well, the reason I'm saying that is because, well, I'm not getting many here either. I'm not sure what people do to get lots of views and subscribers. I know it's just a matter of time. That's one factor. But I gave my original Theron Ramacharaka channel lots of time. Maybe 8 years or so. There wasn't much of a public result. Well, anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that I did some thinking here over the last few days, and I really have my doubts about whether anything I'm doing here is really of any great value. It has value, yes, but effect is what I'm saying. Effect. I have to be doing this for some reason other than the results. I tell you. I have one loyal viewer here who keeps urging me that there's a sense of urgency that seems to be increasing more rapidly as it goes. Urgency to salvage of humanity as we know it, what can be salvaged. And sometimes I just want to say what can be done. There's not much, I don't think. Now, I was just watching a movie here on YouTube called Blue World Order. It has a lot of things in it that are relevant to affairs today and the direction that things are going. The outcome, as is in the movie, may not be exactly the outcome of our actual world, of actual humanity, but we're headed to something similar by many of the same methods that are shown in the video, the movie. I'm going to post the video here on my channel. Maybe it'll be the only video here from another channel. So far, I have none. I have not reposted anybody else's video, but I think I'm going to put that one here, and I want you to look at it. I want you to watch it. In the movie, there's a tower, a transmitting tower. It doesn't look like our cell phone antenna towers, but it's meant to be the same sort of thing. That's one thing that really impressed me. And how this movie's, the time that it was made and the events that take place in it regarding a virus and a bacteria, the antidote, the vaccine for which actually created a virus by way of this tower, this transmission tower. Created a virus. It was a software virus uploaded into everybody's brains. to control what they do. And then hence it's called a virus, like a computer virus, a software virus. In it, there's even the mention that it's all electricity. It's all about electricity. Well, I want to point out that electricity, in and of itself, not its effects, not its results, not what we can sense of its results, heat and light, but electricity itself. It's acknowledged in the scientific community in large, the mainstream scientific community, that we don't really know what it is. Can't see it. We can work with it, but we don't really know what it is. We can describe how it probably works, movements of electrons. In the military, that's interesting, because in the military, in the Navy, in which I studied electricity, for the job I was to do, or did, we were told, we don't know for sure whether it's electrons flowing one direction or the holes between them flowing the other way. We're not sure. We're really not sure which pole to call the positive and which pole to call the negative, but that depends on which way we consider electricity to flow. But is it the movement of electrons? Is it the movement of the spaces between them? We can't really see this going on. It's theorization. But, yes, everything boils down to, in one sense, a conscious substance in motion. If we want to be a little bit more scientific or precise or let's say updated in saying that, we can say that everything boils down to logic states, that is, on and off states, and electromagnetic fluctuations, and mathematical states. And ultimately, even the mathematical states and the digital states, there's electricity at the bottom of both of those. Just think of analog circuitry, that would be the mathematical, and digital circuitry, that being the logic states. Without electricity, those do nothing. Electromagnetic spectrum, the whole thing. Really, electricity is at the bottom of it all, and it is the animating thing in conscious substance in motion. Maybe it's equivalent to what is biblically known as the Holy Ghost. The notion, or that thing called prana, vital force, vril, really, I think, is fundamentally electricity. It operates our nervous system. Central nervous system, brain. All our energy flows at some level or another is electrical. It's in everything. It's operating in everything. The very notion of polarity implies electricity. The law of opposites. This is not talked about much. In the New Thought movement. The New Thought. This is newer thought here. Okay? And then that brings us to I forget the term. What is it? I can't remember. Technology used for mind control. Techno, what is it? I can't remember right now. Psychotronic mind control. This is the use of electronics or electricity, electromagnetism, frequencies, the whole electrical thing. Psychotronics, mind control. This has been going on for quite a while. I'm not here to prove it. Do a little research before you say that's not happening here. Please, I don't want to argue about this or debate it or raise conflict over this here on my channel and in the comments section below. I mean, if you have something to say about that, that's in contrast to what I'm saying, please do some homework first. I'm not out to prove this. That's a whole different series of videos that I'm not making here, right? But it's a frightening thing, okay? Now, look, we have a lot of agendas going on here. Depopulation agenda, transhumanist agenda, mind control agendas, for whatever reasons, lots of methods are used. This involves lower astral entities. You know all about this if you've been looking at other videos here. I want you to watch this movie. It brings a lot of things home. Even the COVID-19 thing and its alleged antidotes. I mean, the timing of this, the making of this movie was pretty uncanny with respect to that. I'm trying to say there's a sense of urgency here, folks. We stand to lose our free will, for one. And we stand to find ourselves, if not already in, then shortly, in a position where even our souls cannot get out of this control system here on this planet, regardless of reincarnating. Regardless of reincarnation. Like, stop. Just stop. We stand to lose humanity. Is that a good thing? It's up to you to decide. Is that what you want? Personally, what if it were all to happen in one lifetime? Yours. And you could remember the past, what it was like, and that you had choices, that you could so-called free think, and now you can't. Even your thoughts can be seen on a monitor screen remotely. Total control. And if you have thoughts that involve a bit of antagonism toward the control structure, your ID chip, your authentication token, that is your body itself, your own DNA, it just gets shut off from all resources. is that what you would want? Well, just expand that to the larger picture of humanity. So when I'm talking about humanity, if you can't relate to humanity, at least relate to yourself. Here, about this. I don't know what the hell to do. I'm 63 years old. I'm physically disabled. I struggle with bad habits. I struggle with mentation difficulties, emotional difficulties, borderline personality disorder. I have my own things I need to think about here at home. I'm not a warrior, as in you might see in some movies where one guy can save the whole world due to physical actions. You know, a fighter. Look, this is the extent of my physical fight left in this flame hat. It's a military type hat. Ball cap. Not worn in the military, but, you know, like veterans, for veterans, which I am. I'm a veteran. That's the extent of it. This here on my YouTube channel right now, at this point in my life, is as much fight as I can conjure up. I'm a thinker. And I'm an information gatherer, analyzer, synthesizer, and disseminator. And my concern largely is the circumvention of consciousness hijacking and perception deception. I don't know what the hell else to say here. People are not looking at my channel. Very few. Anybody who's looking at it right now, I'm just preaching to the choir, so to speak. It's not even necessary for anybody who currently looks at my channel to see and hear this video. Those few people already know. And the information here is kind of the sort, well, for those, you know, those who are not the choir are kind of like, in the biblical terminology, swine, in front of whom I am casting pearls of information. And they don't know what to do with it. They don't care, or they're too busy. Or even those who are not the choir or swine, so to speak, but those who are interested, they have the feeling in large, what can I do? Yeah, okay, there's a sense of urgency. What can I do? Theron Ramacharaka is not telling me what I can do. You know, I don't have a secret, you know, hideaway where I meet with other people and plot the overthrow of the New World Order or whatever. I don't have the wherewithal. That's how would you ever get away with such a thing? Well, yeah, and how indeed? Is it too late? All we can do is do the stuff here for for ourselves, each of us for ourselves personally. But how many of you actually follow the course laid out here in so many different ways, haphazardly, yes, because it's just a YouTube channel. You know, the William Walker Atkinson material here that I'm still uploading slowly. There's much of it. I have about 10 or 12 of his central books, all recorded here by me, chapter by chapter, coming slowly to this channel. They were all on my original TQR channel. And then there's my material. A lot of which roots in William Walker Atkinson, but in so much more too. But how many are actually following through with the techniques, the methods, and so forth? It's an enormous task for each of us individually. It's enormous. How many are actually doing it? How many have time? How many believe they don't have time? Is anybody really doing anything with my material? The most that I know of that has ever been done with any of my material is one guy, a good fellow named Joe, who followed through with a one-on-one program with me all the way through, the best that I had at the time, completed all the way through, still implementing it all into his life, and every time I talked to him. Now, that was years ago by now, but every time I talk to him, which I do occasionally still, he expresses his gratitude and how it evolves his life in many ways, not just toward establishment of true selfhood in his life this time around, and which lasts, I think, forever once it's done, and gaining an appreciable degree of control over his own consciousness, and many more things. There's him, and then there's the person who makes regular comments here on this channel now. That's it. That's the most result I've ever heard of. But this is supposed to be for the world. This is supposed to be for all of humanity. It was suggested to me lately that I have to do more. I have to write. I have to get my material out into the public in hard copy form. But I faced many, many obstacles with that, like how to organize it so that it works best for everybody. And it was suggested that I make a book kind of like with 365 entries, one for each day of the year, something inspirational, a thought for the day kind of thing. But then I'm not really laying out techniques and methods if I do something like that. How far is that going to go? It might get into a few more hands than this does here, but the material here is better than that would be. Just, like a little one-page a paragraph on each page, something to think about for the day. That's not going to have any dramatic effect, really, toward what needs to be done. I mean, I'm frustrated, guys. I'm frustrated here. I don't know what to do. But I feel responsible to do something. And this is the best I've got. It's not really going anywhere. Maybe if YouTube lasts for a century and slowly, like 50 years from now or 70 years from now, my videos suddenly become a thing to be talked about, to be sought after. My narrations of William Walker Atkinson included. I mean, by then there may be no more books. Who knows? But these videos remain. Whatever. Maybe somebody will have downloaded, pirated, whatever, all my material, and then they distribute it later, public domain, and is well sought after. And then, there may be, some camp somewhere out in the wilds where cannibals are running loose, who gets a hold of my material, and the few who are known as the resistance get a hold of it and realize that, well, this should have been acted on when it was created by this TQR guy. But it's too late now. Maybe that'll be the way it works out. Huh? All I can do is the best I can do, and that's not a lot. I'm doing it right now. Here in my own life, there are things that I have to deal with myself, for myself. Every day. And I barely get to most of it. I have internal battles that I struggle with. I know my material in and out. And I do my best to apply it to myself. And I've been pretty successful. So when I say I have these personal struggles, inner struggles and so forth, don't think, that I'm falling way short of, or not practicing what I preach. I do the best I can to practice what I preach. And before I did that, situations with me were far worse. I don't say things here about which I am uncertain. If I do, then I say I'm uncertain about, and then I'm certain about that. I don't know what else to do or say right here, but I'm going to put this video, this movie, Blue World Order. I'm in the middle of watching it right now. I'll finish watching it, and then I'll create a little playlist here and stick it in there. And I just want you to watch that. If you like to watch movies, if movies give you messages somehow, if you get something out of a movie, then watch this. But I don't know what good it's going to do. It might just help you understand more about the direness of the situation at hand right now in the actual world. But then again, it might be just preaching to the choir. I don't know, man. I struggle every day here over my channel, to some extent or other. Every day. Sometimes to a very small extent, and sometimes to a very great extent. Is this even worth my effort? And sometimes it just boils down to me having something to do. Some activity in which to engage. If you want to know more about me, well, there are some videos here. Who am I? Something like that. One of the thumbnails says. Or a brief biography, there's another one. I'll just add a little bit more here. I don't know what it'll do, but, I do have a degree in philosophy from one of the best universities in the world for philosophy. That was University of California, the Berkeley campus. At the time I was there, it ranked number 4 in the United States. It would be number 5 if we count the whole world. That would put Oxford in the first position. But in the United States, Princeton at the time was, and Harvard, it was arguably which one's number 1, which one's number 2. And I believe Berkeley was number 4 in that department. So I got a good education in how to think, how to be clear-minded, how to state things clearly, remote subjects. And then, I got another degree a science degree in information technology. I know a little bit about how that works, programming, systems development, database development, the internet. I've worked several jobs in internet technical support. I know a little bit about the behind the scenes stuff when it comes to ISPs and the functions of the internet. I understand transmission, frequency transmissions and so forth. In the military, I was educated in all of that, a lot of that, for military applications, weapons especially. Microwave generators, klystrons, in other words, radar systems, signal detection systems, electromechanics, digital electronics, analog electronics, and like I said, electromechanics, the interface of the electronics and mechanical, mechanics, moving physical objects, all for, weapon firing, radar systems, to computers. When it comes to computers, my weapon, the phalanx, close-in weapon system, the computer that operates it, this was unbelievable, folks. There are some pretty powerful computers. The microprocessor is a chip. Well, let me tell you about the microprocessor. The chips for the phalanx system, the platform on which the actual weapon and radar antennas, tracking and the search antenna and the tracking antenna and the gun were mounted. One side of it, well, it was about 8 feet square, something like that, maybe 10. 8 to 10 feet square. So each side, and was maybe 5 feet high. Okay, so there were 4 sides, about 5 feet high, maybe 4 to 5 feet high, and maybe 8 to 10 feet long. Okay, there were on this one side where the computer is. There were drawers, many drawers. They were vertical drawers. They were only maybe a foot wide, but they went from pretty much down at the floor up to the platform, the top of this platform. So they were, I don't know, let's say 5 foot high drawers. Let's just say 4 feet. Okay, 1 by 4 feet. There were many of them, maybe 10 drawers. Okay, 8 to 10 drawers. Okay. Slide out a drawer. Each drawer had like shelves, many shelves. Now, I forget what size these integrated circuit cards are that I'm going to talk about here for just a second. They were the ones that are about this size. I don't know, 6 by 8, something like that. Not the smaller ones, but the larger ones. Okay, this is a little bigger than what I'm talking about here. But let's say now these drawers would come out 4 or 5 feet. Right? Now, however high these cards were, that's how high each shelf was. So there'd be, I don't know, let's say 5 shelves. And each shelf, remember this drawer comes out 4 feet or so. And there were slots Each slot had a card in it. Right? And the next layer down, next shelf down, same thing. All these cards. And they all were filled with microchips. Every drawer. There were some other components on the cards too. Yes. But in large, these were processor chips. That was the computer. And that's just low-grade technology, guys. In the bigger picture of technology, I mean, I learned that. The extent of my electrical and electronics knowledge is I knew everything about that system. And fired it. Maintained it. That was it. That was all. I don't have a lot of technical savvy for the the rest of the world. All I had was the failing system. That was it. My training went toward that. So, but I am very well aware of things that are going on that most people don't know about. And I wish people did. And I'm trying to get it out there. But moreover, I'm trying not to be a doom and gloom channel here. I want to offer solutions. But I can't offer solutions like go blow up cell phone towers. I can't offer solutions like, blow up this place, blow up that place, gather all your weapons together, learn survival techniques, blah, 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 prepare for all kinds of contingencies. No, my expertise here, if you can call it that at all, has to do with what to do with your own mind. And if that just seems soft, well, it's your mind that ultimately is the thing, and your soul energy, that vril. Minds, brains, and programs, and energy. The electricity behind it all that our bodies are batteries for. That is the real target. Those are the real targets. I don't want to be a doom and gloom planet. I'm trying to offer solutions at that level. At the real target level. With us being the targets. I'm trying to operate at the bullseye level. And what to do about it. The best I can. I don't even know if what I have to offer really works very well. But it's the best going. And I know it. So if you've made it this far through this video, then I urge you, please share this channel with other people. Help get subscribers. If you feel like there's nothing you can do, well, you're wrong. Because you can tell other people to look at this material. How about that? Do that. All right? Don't do it for me. I don't plan on making any money here. I don't plan on that. Oh, I'd like to keep the channel going and growing. Yeah, sure. Make a little money at it for myself because I don't get much from Social Security. I'm retired, I don't don't have a pension from anything. I just have a really good education. And I'm pretty smart. And I'm well studied, well rounded when it comes to a knowledge base. I can think pretty well. And this area of material here happens to be, I guess, my calling. So this is what I can do. Now, if you think this is important, then what you can do, if you feel helpless, is get yourself out of helpless mode and help spread this information by way of just pointing people to this channel. How about that? That's pretty simple, isn't it? If it gives you a little feeling of discomfort to do that, well, get over it. I mean, if somebody like me were to say, well, get into action, do what's on here, follow the methods and the techniques and the ideology here in this channel, but that's maybe too much for you, or you feel like you don't need that, but there's something important here anyway, well, then tell other people about it. How about that? You can do that. If you can talk, if you can write, if you can use a keyboard, you can do that. I don't know what else to say. So, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm Theron Ramacharaka. And look for this movie, Blue World Order. Uploading soon. I'm Theron Ramacharaka. Be well.